Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into some tough source material. It's called The Widow's Investment, a scam tragedy.
Oh,
We're looking at how these financial scams are built step by step and the real human cost. It's about so much more than just the money lost.
that's exactly right. Our aim here is to really dissect how scammers leverage, community trust, sometimes even desperation. And we're using this story, Yasmin's story, as a case study because it just starkly shows the irreversible damage, the ripple effects.
So let's set the scene. Yasmin, she's 50 years old, a widow, works hard, long hours in a factory, and her main goal, her whole focus, was trying to build some kind of better future for her three kids. University, stability.
Right.
Just a chance, really. She hoped this was it.
And this is crucial. The investment pitch, it didn't come from some random email or a cold call. No, it came through Humera, a neighbor, someone she knew, someone she trusted right there on her street. That familiarity, that perceived endorsement, it made the promise seem, well, achievable. And the promise was specific. Invest £3,000, get £300 back every month, plus a £12,000 lump sum after just 1 year.
Yeah, and the sacrifice she made, it just shows how much she believed in this,
Yeah.
how desperate she was for it to be real. She put in her 2,000 pound savings, but that wasn't enough. So she pawned her late husband's wedding bangles. The source material calls them her anchor. Just incredibly personal, valuable things. Imagine the relief, though, even if temporary, when that first 300-pound payment actually arrived. And the next.
That level of sacrifice, it just speaks volumes, doesn't it, about her hope, her trust. But let's be clear about the players here. The main scammer, the architect, was Ghazala Din. Humera, the neighbor, seems to have been more of a conduit. Maybe unwittingly at first, but a conduit nonetheless, leveraging that trust.
Okay, so the payments come in for a bit, looks legitimate. But then the scheme, Ghazala Din's scheme, it just collapses after only 3 months. Is there something about that timing? 3 months. Why then?
Oh, absolutely. That timing is often quite deliberate in these kinds of scams. 3 months is, just long enough to build that credibility, to make the victim feel like, okay, this is real. I made the right choice. It settles their nerves. But it's also short enough for the scammer to limit their financial outlay before things get too hot, before serious legal threats or official complaints gain traction. And the excuses Ghazala Din used when the payments stopped. Classic stalling tactics, vague stuff, bank delays. Oh, the accounts are frozen. We're getting new solicitors involved. Just mechanical, designed to string people along.
Wow. And the immediate effect on Yasmin. The source says she just withdrew, started staring at her phone, waiting for news that never came. That sadness, that quiet desperation, it translated directly into hardship at home, didn't it? Meals got simpler. Rice without meat, tea without sugar. Small things, but they add up.
They really do. And it shows that devastating multiplier effect we talked about. The loss wasn't just the £3,000. Look at the kids. The eldest son had to put off university straight into a night job at a takeaway, trying to cover rent. The middle child, overwhelmed by anxiety, the shame of it all, dropped out of sixth form entirely. And the youngest started feeling resentment. The whole family foundation, their future plans, just crumbled. It was stability, trust, hope. That's what the £3,000 really represented.
And this all played out in her community, right? In Watchwood Heath. The sources call it fertile soil for these schemes. Why? Because of that underlying financial desperation, perhaps. And Yasmin, she became isolated, avoided community events, weddings, even prayers at the mosque, just crushed by the shame, the guilt.
Exactly. And that community reaction, it's complex, isn't it? Some people felt sympathy, sure, but others, you hear whispers, judgment, greed blinds people, that kind of thing. It puts the blame back on the victim, labels desperation as greed, and it just deepens the isolation, makes them suffer completely alone.
So when you boil it all down, the ultimate betrayal, it wasn't just the cash. It was losing that deeply sentimental connection, those bangles, her husband's memory, and seeing your children's futures just dissolve, wiped out.
Mm-hmm. And it really highlights the wider damage, the collateral victims, people like Humera, the neighbor. She likely felt immense guilt, right? But by perhaps avoiding Yasmin by staying silent, she inadvertently helped Ghazala Din. For Ghazala Din, the scammer, Yasmin's probably just, another name on the list, another transaction, then move on to the next.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Considering how utterly alone Yasmin felt, that intense social isolation, how much has that silenced the failure of others in the community, maybe people like Humera, to speak up or intervene? How much does that silence actually empower these scammers and let these schemes continue for so long? Something for you to consider, maybe, about the role of trust and silence in your own communities.